So we have 5 simple questions that we look to together. So one says, define accounting concepts and accounting conventions. This is what we started with. We define accounting concepts as the basic assumptions, rules, principles, which form the basis of what? Recording transactions and preparing accounts. With that, that's a very simple definition, and you've covered all that relates to accounting concepts. For accounting conventions, we simply define that as common practices, right, which serve as a guideline in the preparation of accounts or in the preparation of financial statements. We also went ahead to state that it fills in the gap where there is limitations for the existing accounting standards. So it serves as a guideline for accounting treatment where there is no definitive guideline from the accounting standards that govern that particular situation. So those are accounting concepts and accounting conventions. 2, it says dash urges companies to lay all cards on the table. Dash urges companies to lay all cards on the table. If you're paying attention to this model, you'll recall that I mentioned this particular statement. So the options are consistency convention, full disclosure, materiality convention, and conservatism. So to answer this, let's walk through the various conventions that we have. They are just 4 in number. We start with the first one, consistency convention. We defined consistency convention as, the guide that urges the accountant to ensure that he uses the same accounting methods for the various accounting cycles. Simply saying, be consistent, such that investors are able to compare and assess performance across numerous periods. Given that, we know that it does not directly relate to urging companies to lay all cards on the table. So we know that consistency convention is not the answer. Next, we have full disclosure. Full disclosure, we stated, was related to materiality convention. We said it involves releasing or including all important and relevant information in the financial statements, regardless of the impact it has on the accounting records. So that seems like the answer, but since we say it relates to one, I think it's best we define what that other convention is. So we have the materiality convention. The materiality convention urges all companies to lay all cards on the table. It states that any information that is material enough to influence the decision making of investors or decision makers must be included in the financial statements. So we can't rule that out, definitely. And then conservatism is the convention that states that the accountant should err on the side of caution, be conservative when recording. We also mentioned that there are 2 major things we need to note here. One, we said we need to ensure that income, is not recognized before it's received, or is not recognized in advance, or is not anticipated. However, all possible losses must be accounted for. We also said that where there are 2 transaction values, right, and we are to select one, the one with the lower value must be selected. So we know for sure that this is not part. And since we mentioned that the materiality convention urges all companies to lay all cards on the table, all material information must be disclosed. So we have this. 3, the accounting concept that is similar to the double entry system or principle is called, now recall that there's an accounting concept that follows the same rules as the double entry system or principle. We defined it as the concept that states that every transaction must have 2 aspects. 2 aspects, one debit and one credit. That's why we said it relates to the double entry system. And that principle or concept is called dual aspect concept. So we can put that here. Dual aspect concept. It is the accounting principle that is similar to the double entry system and relates to the actions we take whenever we're debiting or crediting at every point in time. So moving on to the next, it says the concept that gave birth to the accrual concept. So to answer this, let's determine what exactly is the accrual concept. We've stated that the accrual concept is the basis in which financial statements are prepared. Here, revenue is recognized when it is earned, not when it is received, while expenses are recognized when it is incurred, not when it is paid out. This is the accrual concept, and that is how businesses should record. We also stated that there's a concept that is quite similar to it, and that concept is called the realization concept. The realization concept gave birth to the accrual concept, and it is quite similar to it. The realization concept says profit or revenue should be recognized when goods or services has been transferred to the buyer or it has reached the hands of the buyer. At that point, revenue can be recognized. So it is out of that realization concept that we now brought out, the accrual concept, which drives reporting and preparation of financial statements today. The last drill is mention two differences between accounting concepts and accounting conventions. We highlighted that they seem quite similar. They are both guides, they are both rules on how we should prepare, record, and account for things. However, there are some striking differences we need to highlight. Given two, we can start with the first and most important one. Accounting concepts are merely theoretical notions which are adopted in the recording process. However, accounting conventions are methods and procedures which must be applied when preparing financial statements to ensure that it gives a true and fair view of the company. Method and procedures, while the other is a theoretical notion. Another very important difference between accounting concepts and convention is accounting concepts, there's no possibility of bias or personal judgments in their adoption. However, accounting conventions are very subjective in nature, and as such, there's a high possibility of bias or prejudice when adopting accounting conventions. Another one beyond that could be the fact that accounting concepts are usually used or they relate directly to the recording phase of transaction or when we are maintaining accounting records. However, accounting conventions relate directly to the preparation and presentation phase of financial statements. Also, accounting concepts are developed or they were developed by accounting bodies, while accounting conventions are merely common accounting practices which have now been generally adopted and accepted. So in accounting, we usually call them GAPs, which are generally acceptable accounting principle. GAPs. This is what we call them, and they are, like we said, they are procedures, guides to fill in the void where there is no definitive guideline as per accounting standards. With this, we've been able to go through the various types of accounting concepts. We've looked at the definition of accounting concepts. We've also seen the 4 types of accounting conventions we have, and we've looked at the differences between accounting concepts and convention. One thing you need to note is that accounting concepts are used in light of accounting conventions, and it is very important that every accountant know how this is applied at every point of the accounting stage, so that the financial statements that it's being prepared shows a true and fair view of the financials. Thank you. See you soon.